This video is brought to you by the Crafts channel in association with Palmer Metals. For more information, visit www.palmermetals.co.uk. Hello and welcome to the Crafts channel in association with Palmer Metals. I'm Abby Southern and I'm here with Corinne Bradd, who's going to be teaching us how to make some jewellery. Now, I'm a complete beginner at this, so you're going to need to teach me from the start.
You'll love this, Abby. This is one of the simplest things and you get such brilliant results. We're going to use a two-part epoxy clay. It's called crystal clay. And what you do is you simply mould the two parts together. You have about 2 hours working time before it cures, and you can press chatons or pointed back crystals into it so you can just bling everything. I mean, this ring that we've got here, this is a blank that comes from Palmer's. Rather like this one, and you simply put the clay on top of it and then press the crystals in.
Okay.
We've also got this beautiful bracelet as well.
I really like the shape of this bracelet actually, because you've got, it's kind of
well, it's elasticated. It will, it will fit any size. I mean, it's got a decent amount of stretch on it.
Yeah.
But it then looks like a solid silver and crystal bracelet.
Like a cuff.
So to start, what I suggest you do, and what they ask you to do, is to put a pair of rubber gloves on. That's really just to protect your hand from any chemicals in the clay. Okay. And also to stop your hands getting covered. I mean, I'm going to use a black clay. Okay. And it means that you don't get the clay ingrained in your fingertips.
So in terms of chemicals, you're going to work on a mat, but a chopping board is a good idea. Or something that
I mean, I wouldn't use a polished wood surface. I think this is pretty safe.
So that's the black one.
Now this is the black, yeah. So what I'm going to do is just roll that.
You can get lots of different colours though.
Yes, yeah. Roll that into a, say, a large pea-sized amount. Yeah, this comes, I mean, it comes in metallic colours as well. You can get gold and silver, there's red, pink, white. I'm going to use the black because you'll be able to see how well the crystals stick. Now
so each pack comes with the colour and then a different one, and you blend those together.
Well, the black is part A, this is part B. Now, I believe part B is the hardener that acts in the two parts. So like any two-part adhesive or resin, you mix them together thoroughly and then some sort of chemical reaction occurs and it's set solid.
Okay, don't need to worry about that though.
I would say, that's just a little bit too much there. The easiest way to measure it out, unless you've got a pair of scales and you're very accurate, is just to roll it into balls and just check they're about the same amount.
Okay.
I'm still concerned I've got too much there.
I think it's really interesting what you've done with some of these where they've got different colours in the background as well. Have you done that by using different
What I've done is I've rubbed a mica powder. I'll show you how you do that when we've completed this.
Yeah.
You rub a mica powder into the background of it, and because it's sticky, it keeps the mica on it. So flatten the two pieces of clay down so you've got your white and your black. That white will disappear completely when you mould it together. And rather like if you were making puff pastry, if you fold it and flatten it, and fold it and flatten it, it will stick to your gloves. And just knead it really well. Do you see what I mean about wearing the gloves, though, to keep the colour off your fingers? When the clay is new,
does it get warm or is it quite solid?
It gets, I mean, it gets warm under these lights, but you want it quite pliable, really. So blend it in really well until you can't see any more of the white.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna.
But you can make any colour, really, if you're making the powder like you said.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to make lots of different colours and you're just starting, you want to know how you use it, get a white clay, because then if you get mica powders, I mean, I don't know, even eyeshadow would probably work on it as long as it's not too greasy, and you can rub it into the surface. So that's now blended. I'm going to remove these gloves.
Are you all right
nice
doing
clean hands.
that?
Yeah. And I'm going to make this ring blank here. This is a lovely oval ring blank.
Okay, so similar to some of these ones, which are, this one's a square.
Yeah. Now what I'd suggest you do, you need to get your clay to the approximate shape of what you're making. It just means that when you're then smoothing it down into the sides of the bezel, and then, I mean, these blanks here, they've got nice deep bezels in.
Yeah. And these are all from Palmer's.
Yeah, I mean, there's say, the ring blanks, there's cufflinks, pendants. Smooth it down.
So you're making a dome, but you can also do a flat shape.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to flatten the top of it, I found the easiest way is simply to get a scalpel and just go straight across the top, preferably not actually towards you. Yeah. Go straight across the top. But we're going to make a nice dome. And the other thing is, it's quite a good idea to smooth down the dome completely. A wet wipe is good for this. Normally, I just use the ball of my hand, the heel of my hand, should I say, But as I say, because we're under lights and I've had the gloves on, it's a little bit sticky. So you've got quite a smooth dome.
Yeah.
Then you get your chaton. You can, as I say, you can use flat back crystals as well, the sort of things that you'd use in card making.
Yeah.
But the chatons, if I just pick this one up here.
So what are you using then?
This is just a toothpick with a piece of wax. This comes with the crystal clay kit.
Okay.
It's the best thing ever invented. I don't know how I've lived without that, because it's great just for picking up things so easily. But if you can see on the back of the crystal, it's got a pointed back. What that means is when you press it into the clay, there's more surface area for the clay to attach to.
Okay. So it spreads out at the side of it. Does that go back into shape as you put more in?
Yeah, what you'll do, I mean, I would normally start at the edge, but I'm going to start in the middle with this one because I've got one big crystal that I want to place near the middle. And you want to push them down just so that the clay bumps up around the top of it. Now I'm going to put a selection of crystals in here. I'm not going to fill this one up because I don't think we'll have time to do it.
No.
But I mean, you can see the crystals. I mean, this is a lovely mix of crystals, again, that palmers do. There's some more mixes here. I mean, you've got the fire colours here.
Ooh.
So amethyst.
You're making that look quite easy, is it?
It is. It is dead easy. Just pick them up.
Even little ones.
Pick them up, pop them in. And I mean, what you can do is if you want to pick them up and place them, you know, if you think, oh, actually, I don't want that one there, just take a scalpel and just hook it out.
Okay.
And then put a different colour in. And, you know, I mean, the number of times I've made a piece of jewellery and then thought, I don't like it.
Yeah.
While the clay is still uncured, you can just hook all the crystals out, take the clay out, remould it, put it back in again, start again.
Yeah.
And it's far better to do that than to try and rescue a piece that's obviously gone wrong. I mean, you know, if it's gone wrong, take it out, start all over again, much quicker.
You're improvising a shape here, but you could easily make a shape
well,
like a heart
or you could make regular shapes like this one with a regular geometric shape. There's a pendant there, which I don't know if you can see. That's got a regular shape on it. And what we've also put in that is there's some tiara cast silver findings, silver accessories, like the ring and the little spacer beads.
Okay.
And what that is actually, I'll show you the back of it.
So this is just a flat shape, isn't it?
Yeah, this was just a flat brass leaf, and you simply smooth the clay over the top of it.
Yeah.
And then trim the edges off with a scalpel and then start embedding straight onto there. So although the bezels make it much, much easier for you, if you've got flat metal shapes, then, you know, you could... The best thing to do, I mean, with this clay, try it and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then you can just peel it off and start again.
So you reckon that's best for beginners like me?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. And as I say, I mean, you know, start with something like this. Start with a random pattern of stones. I'm not going to fill all of this up, but what I am going to show you is just how you put the mica powder over the top of it. Let's just put one last crystal in there. Okay. Flat it down with a healy hand just to check they're all in, just to check they're all level.
Yeah.
And then this mica powder, don't breathe it in.
Careful.
It's like dust. This is a shocking pink one. Just dip your brush in and just liberally put it over the top of it.
Oh, it really sticks to it, doesn't it?
It does, it does. And in a minute, I'm just going to show you, there's a lot there. I mean, this is a mica that you would normally use in card making.
So how would you get it off the crystals? You're just brushing it off with a normal paintbrush
there?
Yeah,
I'm just brushing it off with a normal paintbrush.
Could you use a bit of water to just clean it?
You don't really need to, because what you can do is once the clay has cured, that will be solid and that mica powder won't come off. Then what you can just do is just get a cloth and buff the crystals up.
Yeah, it's interesting how the black and the pink have mixed and you've got kind of an iridescent purpley colour.
Yeah.
You'd have to really trial and error really to see what
colours it would come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, I mean, you know, you can get gold and silver powders, like the kind of metallic powders you would use with polymer clay.
Or eyeshadow, as you said.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a really, really simple thing to use. You know, you get a lot out of a packet. I mean, the ring that we have here has used a very small amount. I'll show you how much of the clay we've actually got left. That's how much I've taken off that block.
Yeah.
So I would imagine you would probably get 10, 12 rings out of that, out of this block.
So you say start. So if I bought a white one and some of these, then I'd be ready to go, really. And it's just things that I've got around the house.
Yeah, mobile phones. I mean, we've got here like a show exhibitor batch. you know, anything that's got a surface that you can put the clay on.
Yeah.
The clay will stick to most surfaces.
And then what kind of beads? Because they've got like little tiny
Those
beads
little
on.
tiny ones are the micro beads.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever, you sometimes get them in seed bead mixes, but they're micro beads that card makers tend to use. And as I say, you don't have to just stick crystals in there. Try using things like, you know, tiara cast findings, flat beads. The other thing is if you've got little findings that you've got and you want to decorate them, if you just put a little bit of clay onto the metal finding and put some crystals in, that's instantly jazzed up a plain silver
just
key.
A silver finding.
This was like a plain brass. This is actually what the finding looks like. Turn it over, and I've filled the interior with crystal clay.
Okay.
So you've got a different charm, rather, not a finding. You've got a different look to it. So very, very simple. Cure is in about 2 hours. I mean, you know, if you were going out, you could start making it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you're ready to go out.
Well, thank you, Corinne.
That's all right.
That's all we have time for today.